Hey friends, welcome back. Y'all listen, it feels like forever. I was looking at the past videos and I remember that I did a goodbye video and it said that I posted it 10 months ago, but it feels like it's been so much longer because, clearly when I stopped teaching, it was in the end of 2023. But it took me a while to do that video. But then apparently I posted some other videos after that I don't even remember posting. But in any case, I'm glad to be back. So in this video, really the purpose of it is to let you know that I am back and that you'll be seeing some changes. Okay, definitely a little rebrand. For those of you who don't know, at the end of 2023, I decided to just focus full time on my real estate career and the grow a real estate career. And it was, it's been amazing. Like I honestly just wholeheartedly love real estate. I love helping people to become homeowners just as much as I loved teaching wellness. So I'm real excited to finally be in a place where I have the work-life balance that I can now focus on creating content and teaching again. But of course, during the times when I was kind of, when the seed was first planted, I knew that I didn't want to come back and just pick up where I left off. I didn't feel like that really made much sense because in the past couple of years, so much has happened. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I've experienced a lot. And I'm just not the same person. In many ways, I'm not the same person, which, growth happens. You evolve, things change. So, I knew that what I wanted to offer would be a little bit different from what I was, from what my previous offer was. So that's when I birthed dun, 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 Soul Soil. All right. So that's the rebranding. That's where I'm going. That is the new name. Will be the new name. New name. I'm slowly going through a rebrand. But yeah, I decided on Soul Soil because, and let me just say, I have a podcast that I'll be launching as well on the 21st. And, the first episode goes all into what it means and all of that. Okay. So I hope that you decide to go ahead and subscribe. The podcast will be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube. If you want to go ahead and subscribe on Apple or Spotify, the link's down below. Okay. You can find the trailer. But just to kind of give you an idea Soul Soil. So one of the things I learned over the last couple of years or one of the things that I began to really notice as I came to a place of reflection, there were times that I had my routine, especially in the beginning, had my routine, doing all the things, taking care of my wellness, doing this, doing that. But it got to a point where I still felt a little disconnected. And I couldn't really figure out why. So eventually, because of that disconnect, I just kind of left wellness alone. And to be quite honest, I was so busy that I didn't allow myself to have time for it. I could have had time for it. That was on me. But I felt this disconnect anyway. So I just said, just forget that. I just want a normal life anyway. So let me just focus on my career. But one of the other things that I learned is that it doesn't matter how much you love what you do, you still have to make time for you. Okay? Because it's those moments when you are pouring into yourself, when those are the things that allow you to actually keep going and to keep excelling in the things that you are called to do. So in any case, I know what it's like to be doing all the things and for it to feel like it's just a task. because that's just where you are. And I know what it's like to just be so swallowed up by life that you don't make the time anymore. And what I realized is that one of the reasons that I was feeling so disconnected is because I was basically trying to heal from the outside in. I was just doing things. I would do my practices, but mentally I wasn't there. My mind was somewhere else. So what I ended up, doing after a while, of course, the slowdown came. I feel like whenever I need a slowdown, God will always provide a situation to occur that forces me to kind of just slow down, where I don't have a choice but just slow down. So that happened a couple of times actually. So eventually, excuse me. So eventually, I just during the last slowdown, that was when I was like, okay, like I gotta do something different, because a lot of the things that I was doing, it was, I had a lot of expectations and things on me, but some of the decisions were just things that other people said were the best decisions, or things that you should be doing and all of this stuff. And it wasn't really about people pleasing. It was just being still young in the industry and trying to take in all the advice from the agents and brokers who had been in the industry for way longer than me, right? But I had to come to the place where I was like, okay, I can't this is just too much. I need to figure out what I need and create my business around what my needs are. And so, that's what I did. And once I, began to kind of make those shifts, it made more space, number one, for myself seamlessly. I didn't have to try to fit wellness in. It wasn't just a task, but I was actually able to focus on it on a more deeper level, okay, and focus on that deeper healing. And yeah, so, and it also allowed me to create that work-life balance that I needed, okay, as you can see, so that I could focus on some of the things that I really enjoy doing. And so with Soul Soil, it's about wellness, in a nutshell. It's about wellness that goes deeper than the surface, okay? Deeper than the surface level, because it's easy to kind of get caught up into it, but just like our plants need nourishment into that soil, whether it be new soil, water the soil, fertilize the soil, whatever, the soil creates the environment for the roots. And so that's what Soul Soil is all about, is tending to the soil of our soul and making sure that we're good internally, so that we can be grounded and we can, truly grow and be able to take on all that life brings us, okay? To be able to live fully in our purpose. So, like I said, the links to the podcast are going to be below. And I'll also be, of course, creating some content just for YouTube. Yoga classes, for sure. They will be mostly yin yoga classes from time to time, but I'll also be bringing in some other wellness practices, okay? Because, it's about taking care of the whole self, holistically, the whole self. We are whole. And so now let's tend to that wholeness. And that's not just one thing. All right. So hopefully, you're excited, just as excited as I am about this new venture, this new chapter. And, I would love for you to make sure, if you haven't already, that you are subscribed to me here on YouTube, because you can look at the video podcast here. But also, if you listen on audio platforms, please make sure that you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Well, thank you so much for listening. Hope that I did not ramble too much. First two episodes actually launch on Monday, the 21st of April. And every Monday, one episode will drop thereafter. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon.